Hey, Cobb Cougars. Hey, Shockler Stars. It's Miss Bame, and it's the 4th day of November, which means it's the 4th day of Picture Book Month. And I am loving the pictures in this book. This book is called Stars and Planets. It was published by Scholastic Publishing. It was written by Chris Hershman and designed and illustrated by Dan Jankowski. It was published in, where was it published in? 2019. Stars and Planets. These pictures are amazing. Amazing space. We live in a place called the universe. What is the universe? Everything is in the universe. You, your pets, and your house are in the universe. Our planet is called Earth. It is in the universe too. Beyond our planet, there are other planets, along with stars and moons and much more. Here's the simple rule. If something exists, living or non-living, it's a part of the universe. Of course, there are gaps between these objects. The gaps are called space. Let's check out some of the amazing things floating through space. Universe facts. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old. It would take 93 billion years for light to cross from one side to the other. The universe is growing. It's getting bigger every single second. Our solar system. Our small part of the universe is called the solar system. It's like our neighborhood. A hot star, our sun, sits right smack dab in the middle of the solar system. Planets go around the sun in circles called orbits. Lots of other things, including comets and asteroids, orbit the sun too. It's a busy neighborhood. The solar system is held together by a force called gravity. Most of this gravity comes from the sun. The sun pulls hard. It pulls everything inward and stops stuff from drifting into outer space. It's really good at keeping things together. So what's in our solar system? One sun, 8 planets, 5 dwarf planets, 181 moons, 3,000 plus comets, and 650,000 plus asteroids. And here's our planets in order: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And a key to remember: my very intelligent mother just served us nachos. Yum. Sun. The sun is the only star in our solar system. It is a big, hot gas ball that blasts heat and light in all directions. Without this heat and light, our solar system would be cold and dark. The sun is humongous. It is about 864,938 miles across. That is much bigger than our planet. You could fit more than 1 million Earths in the sun. The sun is also very hot. It is a blistering 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. On its surface only, Inside the sun, things are even hotter. The sun's center can reach about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's hot. Sun facts. Anything solid is called matter. The sun contains about 99.8% of the matter in our solar system. There are cooler spots on the sun's surface. These are called sunspots. Sometimes gas blasts off the sun's surface. This is called a solar flare. The inner planets. Planets are large bodies of rock that orbit a sun. Our solar system has 8 planets. Some of them are very far away from the sun. Others are closer. The 4 planets closest to the sun are called the inner planets. Earth is in this group. The other 3 planets in the group are like our next door neighbors. All 4 inner planets are small and rocky. Let's take a peek into our planetary pals. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, and it's fast. It zips around the sun in just 88 days. Mercury is hot stuff. Its surface can be up to 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Venus. Venus is the second planet from the sun. It's about the same size as Earth, but it's covered with a thick blanket of clouds, warm and cozy. There's Mercury and Venus. Then we have Earth and Mars. Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. The surface is a swirl of blue, green, brown, and white. These colors come from water, plants, soil and sand, ice and clouds. Mars. Mars is the 4th planet from the sun. It's rusty, really. It is covered with red-brown dirt that has the same chemicals as rust and blood. Mars could use a little bath. Earth is our home planet. Our home sweet home. Earth is pretty awesome. It's the only planet in our solar system with open bodies of water. It's also the only planet with oxygen-rich air and known to have life. That makes Earth very special in our solar system, and maybe even the whole universe. Scientists have looked and looked, but they have not found life anywhere else yet. Earth facts. Earth is sometimes called a Goldilocks planet because it is just right for life. Earth is more than 4.5 billion years old. And Earth moves through space at a whopping 67,000 miles per hour. The gas giants. The 4 planets farthest from the sun are different from the inner planets. They have small rocky cores, but are made mostly of colorful gas. They not only look pretty spectacular, they're also gigantic. That is why they're called gas giants. Let's take a look at the solar system's big shots. Jupiter. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun. It is absolutely enormous, about 1/10 the width of the sun. It is covered by colorful clouds. One cloud blotch is called the Great Red Spot. It looks sort of like a big mole on the planet's face, but it's actually a huge hurricane. The storm is as wide as 3 Earths lined up in a row. Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun. You can't miss it. It's the one wearing a ring. Lots of them, actually. The planet is circled by massive bands of rocks and dust. The rings are thousands of miles wide, but only about 66 feet thick. That's about the length of 5 cars lined up in a row. It's not very thick considering how huge the ring looks. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun. It is the coldest planet in our solar system. Uranus is sometimes called the ice giant because it has a layer of ice around its chilly core. It has 13 rings and it spins on its side. Neptune is the 8th planet from the Sun. It is deep blue all over, like the deep blue sea. But it's not water. The color comes from a gas that reflects blue light. Neptune is a very windy place. It has great storms with wind speeds more than 1,100 miles per hour. Dwarf planets. Besides the 8 main planets, our solar system has 5 dwarf planets that orbit the Sun. Dwarf planets are too small to be regular planets, but they're too big to be space rocks. They're right in the middle. The dwarf planets are called Ceres, Haumea, Makemake, Eris, and Pluto. Pluto and Eris are the biggest dwarf planets. They're almost the same size. Ceres is the smallest dwarf planet. There are probably many more dwarf planets in our solar system. Scientists are still looking. Pluto was once considered our solar system's 9th planet, but scientists changed this after they discovered the dwarf planets. They thought Pluto was more like a dwarf planet than a regular planet, so they changed its title. Moons. Moons are bodies that orbit the planets. The smallest moon in our solar system is named Deimos. It orbits Mars and it's just 7 miles across. The biggest moon is named Ganymede. It orbits Jupiter and it's bigger than the planet Mercury. Some planets have many moons. Others have none. Earth has just 1 moon, but it's a pretty big one. It is the 5th biggest moon in our solar system. So how many moons do our planets have? There's the list. Mercury and Venus have 0. Earth has 1. Mars has 2. Jupiter has 79. Saturn has 62. Uranus 27. And Neptune's 14. Distant stars. Outside our solar system, there are other stars. They gather in clusters called galaxies. There are trillions of galaxies in the universe. Each galaxy contains billions of stars. That's a whole lot of star power. Like our sun, all of these stars are hot stuff. They give off heat and light. We cannot feel the heat from the distant stars. They're too far away. But we can definitely see their light. We can also look through telescopes to spy on faraway stars and galaxies. Star facts. Our home galaxy is called the Milky Way. It contains at least 100 billion stars. Other than the suns, Earth's nearest star is Proxima Centauri. Many stars outside our solar system have their own planets. These are called exoplanets. Different stars. Stars are like people. Everyone is different. For one thing, stars come in many sizes. Some stars are much, much bigger than the sun. Others are smaller. Compared to most stars, our sun is on the small side. Stars also come in many different colors. The biggest, hottest stars shine blue. Slightly cooler stars are white. Even cooler stars are yellow. The coolest stars are of all a deep orange to red in color. The universe is a very colorful place. This is the sun, and it is called a yellow dwarf. And red giants are huge, cool-looking stars. Looking into the past, stars make light, and light's an amazing thing. It streams through space at mind-bending speeds. Light travels 186,000 miles in 1 second. That's like 7.5 times around the Earth in 1 second. Imagine that. Even at this speed, it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds for light to travel from the sun to the Earth. It can take billions of years for the farthest stars. We see the lights today, but it was made long ago. Long ago. So seeing it like is looking at the past. Light facts. Light travels about 6 trillion miles in 1 year. The distance is called a light year. The farthest individual star we can see is 9 billion light years away. The farthest galaxy we see is 13.3 billion light years away. Our home galaxy is 100,000 light years across. Scientists think the entire universe is about 93 billion light years across. Stars' life cycle. Stars have a life cycle. They are born, they live for a while, and then they die. Stars form in clouds of gas and dust. A cloud like this is called a nebula. Sometimes gravity pulls a nebula's gas and dust into a clump. The clump gets hot and starts to burn, and a star is born. Stars burn for billions of years. At some point, they burn up all their gas. When this happens, big changes start to occur. Some stars shrink and get dimmer. Some go dark. Some explode. Some collapse inward and get very dense and heavy. Exploding stars. A star explosion is called a supernova. Huge stars can become black holes after they explode. A black hole's gravity is very strong. It sucks in everything, even light. Other stars can become neutron stars after they explode. Neutron stars are very small and very dense. Excuse me. What are constellations? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Look up at the sky on a clear night, and you will see points of light everywhere. Most of them are stars. A few are distant galaxies and nebulas. Using just our eyes, we can see about 9,000 points of light from Earth. These dots of light seem to connect the dot patterns. These patterns are called constellations. There are 88 official constellations. They form the shapes of animals, people, and objects. Every constellation has a name. Constellation facts. 48 constellations were first listed in the 2nd century by an astronomer named Ptolemy. 40 new constellations were adopted in 1922. Scientists wanted to include every star in the sky. The biggest constellation is called Hydra. It is a water snake. And the smallest constellation is called Crux. It is a cross. So there's the water snake and the cross. Well-known constellations. Here are some well-known constellations. Have you seen them? Look for these patterns in the night sky. Ursa Major and Ursa Minor are bears. The 7 stars in each bear looks like ladles. They are called the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. Orion and Taurus. Orion is a hunter, and the constellation looks like a man holding a sword and shield. The 3 stars in the middle of his belt. The 3 stars in the middle are his belt. Orion is hunting the constellation Taurus, which is a bull. Sky watching. Earth's skies are full of wonders. Look up on a clear night and check out our incredible space neighborhood. What do you see in the night sky? I know this story was a little long, stars and cougars, but I'm hopeful that you enjoyed it. Picture books can be fun and full of knowledge. See you tomorrow.